with another video. Pause this video if you haven't read the problem already, and yeah, give it a shot. So this is a really popular FML problem, so I wouldn't be surprised if you already done it. But here, let's do it. So there's sort of two solutions I believe work. In solution outline 1. So the first solution involves, so you have to introduce a new variable, let's call it mu, and that's going to be the friction coefficient between the ground and the ball. And so essentially use kinematics. The first step is to parameterize w in terms of t, in terms of time. Step 2, v in terms of time. Okay, I'll write neither from now on, I'm sorry. And essentially you set these two equal. Set times equal and solve. Theoretically this should work. I haven't actually tried it out, but it works in my mind. It's a more indirect approach to the solution I'm about to show you, but I feel like it does. Okay, I won't do the computation because I found a better solution. And this is using something called angular momentum and impulse. So impulse momentum theorem. And essentially the first step, why did I write step 2? Oh my god. So essentially what we have to notice with this is that it starts off with a certain linear and angular momentum, and after a certain impulse is acted upon it, and this impulse is the exact same, or I shouldn't say the exact same because it's two different things, but these two impulses have to act over the same amount of time to reduce the momentum, both linear and angular, down to 0. And so essentially we can use the impulse momentum theorem. We first write the angular momentum equals angular impulse. Step 2, linear momentum equals linear impulse. Step 3, equate times solve. So it's the exact same. It's just a little bit different from what I expected, but yeah, it works. So let's do it. So essentially the first step is to write the angular momentum equals the angular impulse. So now the initial angular momentum is going to be IW, and the angular impulse is going to be force. So let's call this certain frictional force acting against it a certain F. Frictional force times the radius times time. And technically it should be delta, but it's whatever. And we know that this right here is, so the what do you call it, the rotational inertia is mr squared. So this is our first step. Our second step is to write the same thing but linear, and this one is literally just mv, which is the linear momentum, equals the linear impulse, which is just ft. And now that we have these two equations, t is already equated since I used the same variable for both of them, so it means that t is equal. We can solve and get our final answer of v equals 2/3 rw. Thank you for watching.